Alright folks, today we're working on a set of carbs, and they are from a 1981 Yamaha XJ550. I've already disassembled them, and we've actually done one dip through the ultrasonic cleaner. And these were pretty gummed up. They sat around for about 5 years, and these are really bad. I wish I had a before picture. But the issue I'm having right now with them is the needle and seat valve housings. They won't come out. I've tried heating them. I've tried dipping them multiple times. I've tried the regular carb dip on them. They won't come loose. Even using like a pliers, they won't come loose. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you a trick on how to get frozen seats out. And this works with a bunch of different bikes. And mainly bikes that use this style Viton tipped needle valve, this K&L number. The diameter of the bore ends up being perfect for a 6mm tap. So what we're going to need today, 6mm tap and a housing, they're in a holder. We're going to use a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch drive socket, 5/16 24 nut, and then we're going to use a 6mm by 30mm socket head screw and the wrench for the screw. So to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to take, after it's disassembled, we'll take the tap. Now sometimes I'll use a little bit of lubrication on the tap, especially if the tap is kind of used and dull, but this one's nice and sharp. You're going to start by going, basically tapping in to the end of the needle and seat housing. Now what you want to do is kind of line this up as straight as you can, in line with the bore. Give it about a full turn to a 1/2 turn, and then reevaluate it. You want to look at it. Okay, is it straight? Well, I'll adjust it a little bit that way, and I'll look at it this way, and I'll adjust it, make sure it's straight. Once you're satisfied that you've eyeballed that pretty much in line, now you just using 2 fingers, you start turning it in. Now this should turn really easy. This shouldn't take very much force at all. If it seems like it's taking a lot of force that you have to grunt on it, stop. You do not want to break off a tap in one of these, because now you're really screwed trying to get it out. So just lightly keep turning it in. I'll usually go a couple turns, and I'll back it off a little bit to break the chips. Do a couple more turns, back it off, and you keep going until this bottoms out. Now you'll know it as soon as this bottoms out. It should stop on a dime. All of a sudden it will get a lot harder. That's why I'm using 2 fingers to turn this. I'm not like grabbing the whole thing with my hand. Now as soon as it got to the stop, all of a sudden I felt it freeze up. So we're going to back it back out. Now I want to take all the junk that's in the bottom of it. I'll usually just go like that on the floor. Now, take our 1/2 inch socket with the hex side down and the drive side up, put it around it. Then we take our 5/16 nut, put it around that, and put our bolt through it. Now, depending on the size of your socket, and they all vary a little bit, this is just a Ace Hardware cheapo socket set. It may be too long to get a thread started, so you may have to use washers in here instead of the nut to either make it longer or shorter. But you wanted at least 2 or 3 full threads fully into that thing before it stops moving. Now that we're bottomed out, let's take the Allen wrench. Let's give her a turn. Now this should turn pretty easy. You might have a little bit of resistance on it. Like if you have to really reef on this, then you want to add some heat to this. Now you take like a small butane torch and you heat it right at the base here, right at the base here, and right at the base here. You only want to get it up to maybe a couple hundred degrees. You don't want to melt the aluminum, because then the threads and stuff will start to, the material will gall as this comes out. You just want to heat it up enough just to let loose the varnish and stuff that's holding it back in the corrosion. But you keep turning, and voila, like magic. Hold it right out. So you take this, unscrew it back out of your piece, and it's been extracted. Now, I'm not going to reuse this guy. I could potentially do it. I'd have to put a new O-ring on it, The screen is in pretty good shape. I'm going to save the screen for the next time I do one of these carbs, because the screen is actually good. The problem here that happens is the tap rolls a burr up on the inside. So if I go to put this back in, it won't go. It's too tight now. Now, if you ream that hole back out to the diameter of this, you could potentially reuse it as long as you don't scar the bottom. But for what these cost, and most customers don't want one that's all gouged up and stuff, especially if you're sending them a carb that you said you've rebuilt, you want to put new components in. So these are about 15 bucks a piece, just replace it. Well, that's all for today. Now, hopefully that helps you guys out, and next time you're in the field and you run into a problem like this. But happy cycling.